After beefing for nearly a decade, the smoke between DJ Akademiks and Meek Mill is seemingly coming to a head. Or is it? Recently, on DJ Akademiks' live stream, Akademiks discussed how him and Meek Mill had a conversation over the phone while he was backstage at Playboi Carti's concert, and he was invited to the Meek and Friends concert. Akademiks seemed a bit wary about Meek Mill inviting him to the Meek and Friends concert because he already smells a back door. Is Meek Mill playing friendly with DJ Akademiks just so he can finally catch Akademiks lacking? Or is Meek trying to stop the violence and has a change of heart? Stay tuned.
Sipping slow, yakking the act, thinking I'm mad.
Oh, champ. Run up these likes, and make sure you're hitting that hype button because hype points help the channel in a major way. Listen, man, it appears that DJ Akademiks finally had a one-on-one conversation with Meek Mill while he was backstage at Playboi Carti's concert, okay? And it appears that Akademiks was actually invited by Meek Mill to attend the Meek and Friends concert all of a sudden after Meek tells him everything is good, everything is okay. I'm gonna show you how us Philly niggas do things. Yeah, Ak, you're gonna see how Philly niggas do it, alright? I'm not gonna lie, Akademiks might be a complete fool to ever go to a Meek Mill concert for any reason, especially with Meek Mill giving the invite. These guys have been in a very nasty beef since 2017, okay? It ain't like, you know, you guys just had a little back and forth and things were a misunderstanding. No, everything was an understanding here. Even last year with the whole thing about Diddy and Meek, even 2023, we originally heard that audio. I believe, matter of fact, I think it might have been 2024, where we heard that audio of Diddy and Meek Mill, and it was an AI thing. It was an AI audio of Meek and Diddy doing things in bed, and it was fake, but everybody thought it was real for the most part. Akademiks would coin the phrase Freak Mill from there on out. Alright, it's been high level smoke for a long period of time. It's not like this is just a beef that just brewed out of nowhere. No, this goes back to 2017, which is almost 10 years ago because it's almost 2026. Alright, now in case you don't know how this all started, let me give you the rundown. The beef between the Off the Record host and Meek Mill began in 2017 following the release of Meek's Wins and Losses album. In a 2017 episode of Everyday Struggle, Akademiks detailed the start of the beef, asserting that it stemmed from his failure to adequately promote the album on his platform. Meek, he didn't appreciate I didn't post his album, he explained. However, it was really confusing to me because about 6 months ago, Meek had sent me a DM, him and the rest of the chasers, they gave me a little digital jump and a light one. They said, listen, either post us this way or don't post us at all. Akademiks went on to say that Meek and the chasers soon began threatening him. He claims that that's when he decided not to post the artist at all. Next thing I'm seeing, they were threatening me, he continued. When I see him, I'm gonna give him a wedgie. I'ma slap him. I'm like, oh ish, I think I'm posting them wrong, so I stopped posting them. At the end of June 2020, Meek Mill attempted to get Akademiks canceled. He claimed that the host helped escalate beef that had gotten people unalived and had never contributed positively to the culture. He took to X and wrote, Akademiks canceled because he's a bad police and our culture don't need them. He's also gassed a lot of beef that got people deleted and hurt and never donated $1 to the culture. We gonna holla at you next. Run, champ. LOL. And that's just a brief summary of the Meek Mill and Akademiks smoke that has been happening for almost a decade now. Okay, so apparently Ak was getting threatened off top for poor promotion. They didn't like the way that Akademiks was promoting one of Meek's albums back in 2017, so Ak said he ain't gonna post it no more, and things got real bad from there. As a matter of fact, Akademiks spoke on how Meek Mill was actually threatening him, as a matter of fact.
Essentially what happened is, we've been, I do long live streams. I'm streaming for like 5-6 hours. Like, when these things are happening, we're not just giving quick takes. Like, I'm going, like even today, I bought the Christian Combs document, like the entire lawsuit. We're reading it word for word. We want to see what's because a lot of times on these sites, I've always said, like, I kind of pride myself on trying to go the extra mile. A lot of people just go to, like, say, I don't know, Rolling Stone was a Variety, and they see a summary of what's in a lawsuit, and they regurgitate it and even make it even smaller, and they put that out.
Yeah.
Well, I got time, and people want deep dives, no Diddy. And we got a lawsuit. So the Lil Rod lawsuit we got.
Yeah, I read through the whole thing.
And it didn't mention Meek by name, but there was a footnote.
A Philly rapper who used to date Nicki Minaj.
It was like a Jeopardy question.
Who is that? There could only be one person on the planet. Unless there's a Philly rapper that also dated Nicki that no one knows about, it's obviously Meek Mill.
So essentially, I reacted to, like, I literally found out on stream, like, what the like, yo, no way Meek Mill was in these freak-offs. Like, I know we've seen the video in the pool and the matching outfits, but no, Meek is like the toughest, biggest gangster. Like, he's like a killer. Like, no way he's like getting, bent over by Diddy, the diddler. So I reacted like, I'm not even believing it. That reaction went viral. And the next day, Meek, as I said, he's a special type of stupid, as 50 would say. He's seen me reacting to it and thought I made it up. So he's like, yo, you know what I'm gonna do to Akademiks when I catch him? Now, previously me and Meek had a truce.
But I remember, because I remember the last couple of times I brought his name, you're like, hey, listen, me and Meek are cool right now. I don't want to take these shots at him.
We had a truce, but Meek and him being so dense and being so dumb, he actually thought that I made up the lawsuit. And by the way, even after he started threatening me, and I said, I didn't make it up. I said, just clear up whatever it is, but I didn't make it up. You know what he said? This is clearly AI generated. Like, I'm like, yo, Meek, Meek is so dumb he couldn't even spell AI.
So yes, not only did Meek Mill initially threaten Akademiks way back in 2017, he continued to threaten him. He threatened him over exposing the fact that in the paperwork for those Diddy dockets, that hey, it says that Philly rapper that dated Nicki Minaj did some things with Diddy, alright? According to a person accusing Diddy of some heinous acts, alright, Lil Rod that is, alright? According to Lil Rod, alright, Meek and Puff did the do, alright? And we heard the AI audio that was nasty and it wasn't real, alright? It was not real, it was fake, AI generated, but it did damage Meek in multiple ways, okay? And it's crazy that all that happened, because now, Meek Mill seems to be someone who is preaching for peace. It seems that way, right? However, he just dissed the deceased son of rapper Oshkino, alright? He liked the post where the rapper's deceased son was getting dissed as of late for whatever reason, alright? So it appears that, listen, Meek might call for peace when it helps him, I guess, alright? When it takes heat off of him, I guess. But at the same time, Meek is still out here for the streets, okay? It looks that way, right? But crazy enough, Akademiks was also looking to box Meek Mill, and Meek Mill did not want to box. I'm not gonna lie, it's probably because he wanted to put you in one instead of actually doing some boxing. I'ma just say that. But here's more Vlad and Ak, alright, when it comes to this Meek Mill and Ak boxing match that was just not a thing.
By the way, also, 2024, I think some of these gangster rappers, we're realizing they're just loud mouthpieces. We've seen the real killers. They're all locked up or dead. Like King Von, he allegedly had 7 bodies. Meek Mill, from what we know, he's a bike wheeling, bunny hopping, loudmouth rapper. Yes, is he from the hood? Yes. Does he have people in the trenches? Yes. Is he a millionaire? But aren't we all? Not saying everybody, but come on. When you're like,
yeah,
exactly. So I just look at him and I'm like, you're still trying to live in this image of I'm gonna kill. You're not gonna do that. So how about we do something that would maybe settle our issue, since talking didn't do it? We could box.
You're willing to box Meek Mill?
Of course.
So Akademiks was talking pretty crazy to Meek Mill, man. Talking pretty wild. All right, he says that these guys are not gangsters in this rap gang, and we know who the real ones who are stepping is. We know who those guys are according to Act, but truthfully, Act don't know a goddamn thing. He just gotta look tough for the internet and get all the dweebs hyped up online. That's what he has to do, champ. That's just a part of his persona, his character, what he represents, his brand for that matter. All champ, yeah, that's just what it is, gang. But listen, man, he spoke to Meek Mill recently, alright, Playboy Cardi's concert where he was backstage, alright, Meek's man's Trav, alright, who was also connected to Jim Jones, ironically so, because Jim Jones just pressed Akademiks like a month ago, right, crazy enough, right, this is the guy who's actually sending, Meek Mill, to Akademiks. I guess Trav called Meek, and Meek and Act got on the phone, and here's how this entire discussion went according to Akademiks.
Wait, obviously Trav is with Cardi all the time now. Me and Trav was backstage at Cardi's show. I talked to Meek at Cardi's show. Like, Trav put Meek on the phone, and I keep telling y'all, of course I got a little joke here and there, but I'm not on an anti-fuck Meek type of thing. And you know how I was carrying it when I thought, remember he was like, yo, I'm about to come to your house. I was like, hold on now. It hasn't been that for a while, but yeah, he did put us on the phone again. And shit, I think we both agreed, because Meek said it to me. He's like, yo, Act, this is like the fourth conversation we done had on the phone. And I said, nigga, I'm down to meet up in person. Like, we could talk face to face. You know what I mean? Not on some, I've always said with Meek, it's an understanding, man. He did invite me to the Meek and Friends. And he was like, yo, Act, pop out. You're going to be good. And I was like, should I go to the Meek and Friends chat? I don't know about that one yet. I don't think that. He's like, Act, come to the Meek and Friends. I got to show you how, real Philly niggas get down. And I'm like, yeah, nah, just let me know. I'm in there. When the niggas are like, he's not coming. Anyway, he said, come to the Meek and Friends. Anyway, thanks for that donation.
So yeah, man, I believe that Meek ain't trying to squash no beef with Akademiks when it comes to him inviting him to the Meek and Friends concert. I just don't see that happening. I see that as an opportunity to catch Act lacking, to make Act look crazy on camera. I see a potential Ja Rule type of situation happening, like how Ja Rule just got stepped on backstage at that Brandy concert. Alright, and by the way, that wasn't Max B, that was 50 Cent's people. Yeah, champ, that's who did it. But either way, listen, man, I see that as a clear opportunity to make Act just go to the hospital, champ. It looks like Meek Mill is trying to catch Act lacking so he can make a statement, so he can finally be the one to say, hey, I'm the one who helped drag Akademiks, and I backdoored him in the process. Now, that could also go very left depending on who's the one doing the stepping in that situation. I'm not gonna lie. But like I said, it appears to me that Meek Mill is out here trying to set up Act for the okie doke, champ. He's definitely trying to see if Act would show up. But Act is actually smart for saying that he's not showing up and just pretending that he might show up. So listen, I think it's a smart idea on Act's behalf, even though I do believe that Akademiks is 1000% a POS. He might deserve whatever could transpire if he were to show up to the Meek and Friends concert. I'm just gonna be honest about the situation. But gang, how do y'all feel about all this in the comment section? Do y'all think that Meek Mill is trying to set up Act, or is he trying to squash beef? Look, man, I want to know how y'all feel, man. Let me know in the comment section, okay? And make sure you're smashing the like button. Make sure you're sharing this video, and most importantly, make sure you're hitting that hype button and giving the mayor these hype points, because they're important to the channel. Alright, and of course you gotta subscribe to the mayor's second channel known as Big Gotham, which is a fire channel with nearly 1,000 subs, as well as the mayor's Discord, which is called Big Gotham with nearly 1,000 users, because it's a lit Discord. Plus, of course, we have the mayor's Twitter community page, which is called Showface News. Listen, all of these links are gonna be in the pinned comment. Make sure you hit those links. And one more thing before we get all the way up out of here. You ready, gang? It's the mayor. the one and only real New York Mayor, F. Mom Donnie, and you're rocking with the town favorite Showface News. It's Big Gotham, and you already know it's the town versus everybody at all times. Hit the like, share the video. I'm up out of here, gang. Salute.